I want to tell you why this cross matters to me. If you have your cafecito ready, come on, take a seat. Let's have some tea, have some coffee, and let's chat. Yeah, that's good. My testimony has many layers, as is the case with so many believers. So as I take the next few moments to just give a broad, overarching summary of my testimony, there is a heaviness that I feel, a burden that I feel, and I also want to just take the time to preface this by saying that I acknowledge that the Lord, the God Almighty, and His one begotten Son have always had a hand in my life. And it's not until fully now that I've been walking the Lord that I've been able to actually see that and recognize that and appreciate that in its fullness. And I don't even know if I'm appreciating it in its fullness in this moment, but every year I will have a new revelation of my life and how the Lord has had His hand over it. So starting off, there's not much that I know about my family, and I didn't know much about it growing up. All I knew was that on my father's side of the family were the pastors, the evangelists, right? The people in religion, right? It wasn't necessarily clear who had a relationship with the Lord, but there were people of the faith. I was raised by my stepmother, and I didn't know my birth mom, so I had no knowledge of the family of my birth mother until I was in my late 20s. And so all throughout my life, I didn't live in the Lord. I had a brief period of time in my youth, in my adolescence, where I went to church and I had a semblance of a foundation of the Lord. One that I never understood, and one that the enemy definitely tried to make me view as a negative thing. Fast forward to college, I studied sociology, global public health, and psychology at a liberal school. And the seed of anger and resentment and rebellion was definitely nourished during those years. So much so that I could not even believe that Jesus was real, or I recognized him as a historical figure, but I didn't believe in the deity of Jesus Christ. And that belief had nothing to do with Jesus himself, but it had everything to do with how people use the Bible to do wickedness, to commit mass atrocities. And so that understanding created a wall that didn't break until I was 29 years old. Check out part 2 in the next video.